Hello everyone, I am Manoj Prabhu. Here we are going to discuss about the waste management from the agricultural lands. First we are going to discuss what are the wastages or what are the things what we are getting from the land or industries or some other places, chemical industries, fertilizers from the agricultural usages. Here there are some examples what are the wastages that can be moved on from the agriculture. For example, from the meat, from the alcohol productions, from the fuels, from the phosphorus and calcium, pulp and paper, biogas, biofertilizers, and leather industries. These are the common wastages that what we can use from the or what we can get from the waste management in the common thing of agricultural things. When we are moving for the agricultural waste management process, there are some of the concerned things we have to take care when we are going to discuss these topics. So we can move on from the line by line. So if not appropriate managed, agricultural waste can pollute the environment. So first thing what we have to take concern in the agricultural is the pollution what we going to take over in the land structures or industrial structures. So these are the first important concern things we have to be select over. The second one is the degradation of water quality. The main important when you are moving for agriculture, we are taking over the irrigation, well system or sprinkler, whatever it may be. When we are concerned over there, we have to check the quality of water what we are using there. That quality water can impact the adjustment waterways on groundwater. So based upon the quantity of water or quality of water, it may be differ from the usage of water and how much water we are using, and it will also damage the under earth surfaces and water flow of the normal areas. When you are moving to the third one, the degradation reduces the resources ability to support aquatic life and water for human and animal consumptions. See, it is the point which is linked to second and third one. The second and third are the linking sectors. So the water quality if you are not checking and if you are not using in that, the third will be degraded. If you are not checking the aquatic life on the water for human and animal composition will be get degradation. So it is the major thing if you are not checking the quality of water or raw materials what we are utilizing in the land. So it will be get decomposed or it will be get damaged for next process like animal utilization, human utilization. Also it will be get the aquatic life damages. So the main important thing we have to take over the all these stages carefully for carry over in the concerned things of agricultural waste management. Now moving for the fourth one, nitrates can be found in fertilizers and agricultural waste runoff can be seep into the groundwater. The nitrates, those are the important chemicals or what we are using for the growth of fertilizers. If you are not testing or if you are adding without any ratios, it will be affect the land and also the soil simultaneously for in the growth of plants. So if it is mixed in the runway of water, so it can be mixed in the well or it can be mixed in the any water surrounding areas. Maybe it can be used by the humans or any animals. It will be get deformations or degradations of water can be done there. So last point to concern, will water contaminated with nitrate is hazardous to human resulting in oxygen depletion in the blood. So this fourth and fifth point are interconnected. So here we have to check the nitrates value or fertilizers value what we going to add out in the agricultural land or water. So if we not doing this, so it will be result in damaging of water, maybe well water or water whatever it may. So it will be get hazardous to human beings and resulting in humans or animals of oxygen declinations. So the major thing, all these 5 points are very important in this. We can recall. First, the common management of pollutant. Next, degradation of water quality. If you are not checking the water quality, then degradation which reduce in aquatic life, humans and all. Then we have to check out the nitrates or fertilizers values, what we are going to add out in the fertilizers land or soil. Based upon the checking out the quality of fertilizers, we are moving for the, if we are not checking that, the result will be there may contamination of water in the well or surrounding areas. It will be damage in oxygen, depletion of human beings or animals. These are the main important concern points what we are going to discuss in the agricultural waste management. When you are moving in this agriculture, recycling is one of the main major parts of. See, in recycle, we have to take, if you are thinking the word about recycle, we have to check the causes, effects and solutions. The three things we have to be recycled, we have to check when we are discussing about the recycle. For example, if you are recycling the wastages from the soils, like any soil wastages or the land wastages, if you are getting wastages like stem, roots, etc. So for each of the things, we have to check over the causes, effects and solutions. So we can discuss in brief about that. So why we have to check the causes and effects, which means before that land, it may be uses of fertilizers or uses of any chemical reactions may be implemented in the soil for the growth of the following areas. The stems or roots will be grown by the help of any fertilizers or chemicals it may be. So if you are using that stem and roots as a replacement in the soils for any fertilizers, we have to check the quality of that and we have to check the nutrition values of that. So first we have to check the causes. So if we add in the step with the nutrition value, what the causes it will be affected. It will be move on for the negative or it will be given any add-on fertilizers values. So what kind of fertilizers we are using for what kind of growth. This have to be the causes have to be done and the effect. If the fertilizer is having very low nutrition value, what is the effect? So it may be the cost efficiency will be very high. So the labor or labor choices, the farmer will be get very deflect in the uses of that conditions. Finally, solutions. So when we are getting this both, we can easily get the solutions here. If we are getting the causes or effects in a good manner. So these three have to be chosen when you are getting the recycling method during the agro wastages. So we are going to checking about the stability values of the agricultural waste management from the low to high. From low to high, what are the stability values we are getting in the waste management concern? First, disposal, it's coming in the least values. Fifth category. So properly managing of waste material to minimize environmental impact and hazards. So disposal, which means we have to be known that the waste material what we are going to dispose or we are throwing out. So that throwing materials, how we have to manage properly and we have to know the impact of the wastages. So whether it is household wastages, chemical wastages, so we have to segregate the wastages from the agricultural land and we have to dispose equally. Then from the next point 4, you are getting the energy. So the energy which means the fuel energy or electrical energy what we are acquiring in the land surplus. The power driven from various resources to fuel system and devices. So we have to check what sources we are using, whether the fuel sources, tractors and any other equipment we are using, or any electrical sources what we are using for equipment of the land. So then the wastages will be easily calculated from the energy sources, how we will going to stabilize that. Third thing, reuse in the agricultural sector. That is what the main important thing what we discussed in the past slide. That is implement sustainable farming by repurposing material and conserving natural resources. See, sustainable farming, which means without taking out any of the new material, we are taking the natural resources or we are using the same material what we already use. So that is what sustainable. So reusing in the agricultural sectors. When you are moving for the point 2, the high value chain cosmetic, if you are moving for the delivery purposes or if you are moving over the farmers to optimize profitability by enhancing product value through quality and efficiency in improvement. So this is what the material we are in the export or import things. We have to check the quality and effective of the material what we are going to improve in that. So when the first thing or the high stability thing what we have to choose is restoring of soil fertility. So the main important thing is we have to check the health of the soil, whether it is in organic practices without using any chemical things or like that. So if the soil is organic and without any fertilizers we are using in all natural sources, so then we can be say as restoring of soil fertility, that high stability concepts. So these are the 5 things from disposal, energy, reuse in the agricultural sector, high value chains and restoring soil fertility. There are the 5 stability or sustainability things we have to check or we have to take care when we are moving on the waste management things. So some important points we are going to discuss here. So what the 8 important points we have to take concern or the points which to be remembered when you are choosing these topics. Or reduction. So reduction, which is this, we have to make a schedule properly. So what are the materials we require, what are the materials are not required. So we have to reduce the materials or reduce the fertilizers, the harmful chemical reactions. That should be reduction. Offsite landfill. The landfill which is the material what we are purchasing or dumping in the land areas. So that should not be in the land what we are utilizing for crop productions. Offsite incentive and energy consumptions. So the energy recovery things, what kind of energy we are using, either we are using any mechanical systems or any electrical consumptions, so kind of fuel energy, so that have to be chosen. And on-site composting, the composting which means before preparing for the land, before preparing for the crop production, we have to choose whether the land, whether the soil is in good conditions. So if not in good condition, we have to compose it that by using of any fertilizers by organic things. Then reuse material. See, if you are having any waste products that can be reusable, that can be used in the material. The outside will be without energy recovery. So without energy, we have to choose some of the important points of the offsite areas, like machineries what we are enhancing there. And offsite energy recovery. The offsite energy recovery and offsite recycling, the both implement with the outside of the land how we are using that. Even the outside of the land we can use this in some of the distance. So the required area of the place we can visit and we can take over the required materials that we can use for the land. So these are the 8 things: reduction, offsite filling, offsite insertion of energy recovery, offsite composting, reuse, and integration with the without energy recovery, offsite energy recovery and offsite recycling. These are the common points that we have to discuss in the area. So these are the common things that we are going to discuss or we have to check before starting off agricultural land process for mainly important of the waste materials or waste management what we are using in the lands or what we are using in the crop production areas. Thank you. Here we are going to discuss or recall again the things what we discussed about the waste management in the agriculture. From the first we can move on. So first the management, when you are choosing as the management things, the main important thing have to be take over is the 9 important management sectors we have to take over. What are the 9 things for there? With the waste management from the meat, alcohol production, fuel, fertilizers or chemical hazards like phosphorus and calcium, pulp and paper manufacturers, biogas, biofertilizers and other industries. These are the 9 sectors, the mainly the agriculture waste management, which recycle in the agro wastages. These are the main factors of management here. By this management industries, we are going to consider remaining parts. Here we are going to discuss about the concerns of the agricultural or agro waste management. In this, there are 5 categories are there. First one, the management of or pollutant of environmental management. Second one, the degradation and the checking of water quality. So the quality of water have to be checked carefully. Then if we are missing out checking of the water quality here, what is the result will be there? So it will be damage or degradation of aquatic life and water and the consuming water of humans and animal purposes. And fourth and fifth point, the fourth point we are discussing about the fertilizers, we have to check the quality of the fertilizers. If you are missing the quality of fertilizers, so what are the result will result in contamination of nitrates in the hazardous to humans or damage in the oxygen depletion in the blood. So are the 5 important points, the health related things what we have to discuss, what we have to check the quality before the basic terms. Then the 3 things which you have to be choose when you are choosing waste management is causes the excessive uses of pesticides and herbicides. So what are the causes will be happen if I am using that fertilizers, that we have to be make a chart. And the effects after using that fertilizers, what are the effect may cause to human beings or animals after consuming that crops. Third, the solutions, reduce the uses of fertilizers and pesticides. So by the causes and effects, by the graph or flowchart what we are making up, if the value of chemical reactions is more and if you are not good for the environmental, then we have to make a solution in that to reduce the fertilizers or pesticides what we are using in the land. So this is for the main important 3 things we have to choose whatever waste material if you are taking. Then sustainability. So sustainability is a major role in all the sectors. Here we have 5 sectors of sustainability. What we have to be checked when you are using the waste management. First, disposition of hazard wastages, energy, what kind of energy that we are using and consuming in the sectors, reuse in the agriculture sector, what are the materials that we are using, high value and restoring of soil fertility. The main important is we have to take care of soil health and whether the soil is in organic practices. That we have to be checked before the agriculture management in the following things. So on, finally, at last we discussed about the 8 criteria what we have to be choose or what we have to check when we are using the topics: the reduction, offsite filling, offsite liquidation, offsite composting, reuses, the offsite energy recovery and offsite recycling. So here the offsite which they are informing is the land which we are not using for the crop production and outside of the land purposes or the outside areas. So main thing is we should not use any of the fertilizers or any of the dumping materials inside the crop production areas. All things should be taken over under the offside areas. So these are the main important category of choosing of agricultural waste management that we have in here, recalling the all the portions of first introductions. So thank you.